Well, hello everyone, and I am so glad to be back. My name is Jeffrey Davis. I'm host of Radio Entrepreneurs. Had a little hiatus there as I changed my physical location. I'm settled enough to have my office and my studio put back together. But one of the things I missed the most was my Marc Z moment. I'm able to get them when we're not on the show. I do call for my dose, but here I'm able to share with everyone in the Radio Entrepreneurs world. Welcome back, Marc.
Thanks, Jeff. Great to be back, and it's great to have you back on the show and be able to talk about the employment world that we're in right now.
Great. So what's going on? Because employment is always a hot topic for me.
Right. I mean, Jeff, as you know, because we're talking about it constantly from your consulting work, it's so important right now as there's so many opportunities for in the law firm and the company world that there's a disconnect in terms of on one hand there's not a lot of talent available that want to move. We've got companies and firms saying, okay, well, you can be remote for now, so they're making those decisions. People are saying, well, what does that mean? Are you saying now meaning the next month or two, or now meaning the next few years? And then some employers are saying, well, if they don't come to our office 5 days a week, then we're not interested. So that cuts down a lot in the pool too. So there's so many factors. So it's important for employers to say, what is the urgency of the role? Do we need this person now? So do we need to compromise in certain areas? Or if we need certain skill sets, must-haves, then we'll wait a little bit and be patient. But can our team take on these responsibilities until we find the right person?
I love what you're saying because, recruiting, finding talent seems to be the biggest issue right now in this region, and I think across the whole country. And being patient, as you said, and that's again, I think you say things so subtly and it's it's easy to pass over it. Being patient and also looking at your current team in terms of redefining, reassessing, and letting people step up and have opportunities right now is the way to go. You got to build on the people you got and give people to have more job enrichment and responsibility, which will help their careers as well.
Correct. I was talking to an attorney for a company, major company, about a week ago, and that attorney was moving on from their role, and they were talking about what they have to do is search, but the search for what this person did would take a lot of time and a lot of effort, and there was somebody that we had assisted them on a search several months ago who's been doing a great job, and we suggested, why don't you try that attorney for the role? And because that attorney has a lot of relevant background. It's like promoting somebody in a baseball organization. You had a bench coach, now maybe bring them on as manager. And so they said, you know what? We didn't think about that. Let me talk to the powers that be. And sure enough, they like the idea. And so what it does is, from a morale standpoint and from an opportunity standpoint for the person, it shows that the firm's and the company's faith in this attorney, and it really keeps the message that we are a family. We are looking inward before we look outward. And for somebody as a recruiter like me, sure, you might say, well, Marc, you're giving up a little business, but as you know, Jeff, we're long-term, and we want, as I said, this is somebody that we placed, so it's not like there's an additional compensation, but at the same time, we want our candidates, whenever we place somebody, just like we're talking to the client company or firm, for our candidates, we want the candidates to have growth potential and responsibility and have a path to better themselves.
Since we know definitively that culture beats strategy, if you want to build culture, you show people you believe in them. If you're in a family business, you don't want to typecast family members for life. If you're in a corporation where you've typecasted people, You don't want to typecast them forever. People want to have opportunity. They want to experience. They want dreams to work from. And if you set up proper parameters and metrics for that achievement of those goals, then I think you've set it up properly, because yes, there is that opportunity to not be able to do the job, but that's why you have to set the expectations properly up front. You just don't give it to them and say it's your job. You make
Right.
it clear, this is going to be the expectation. If you can do it, if you can learn it, then it's your job. If you can't, you'll see it, because we're objectifying this process for you, and we'll get you help. We'll get you coaching, because coaching is a lot cheaper than recruiting. You know
Correct.
that as well as I do.
Right.
And you got to do both. You can't just hire the right people. You got to develop them.
Well, you said it. And obviously, I know you do a lot of coaching with firms and companies, so you can attest to that. But like in my business, we'll place somebody based on, usually it's a recruiting opportunity. So they've had X amount of interviews. Like I always say, sort of arranged marriages versus dating before you get married. It's really tough. You can get a lot of references, you can talk to people, but there's nothing like somebody internally who's tried and true, that if you can help develop them, you get the right coaches to focus on what they brought this person in to begin with, as they've developed this person, and they would continue to be a long-term hire. When I look at some of these top law firms in the city, and I look at some of their management, the people, managers, some of these people have been with these top firms, larger firms, for 15 years, and they've progressed because number one, the firm the company has had faith in them, and number two, they've had proper coaching. So, because I've talked to a number of them, the firm has gotten them good coaching so they can get to that next step.
Well, tried and true is a good word for you, Mark. And I didn't realize that if this was new, but you have bookends of the Z legal on both sides of your head. It's kind of intimidating and formidable. But if other people haven't figured out that you're the Mark Z, and this is the Mark Z moment, if they wanted to reach out to you, how would they find you?
Well, first of all, Jeff, they can Google Mark Z, M-A-R-C, and the letter Z, and will come right up, or marczlegal.com, marczlegal.com, or 617-338-1300.
And I had my Mark Z moment early this morning before the dawn. I sent you a note and you got back to me. I don't know what was going on. You were probably busy. It probably took about 3 seconds. You responded to you asked me if you could call me. And since I didn't want to get divorced, I said, not right now.
I got it. I put one and one together, buddy.
I know. Well, again, Mark, I look forward to speaking to you again. There's a lot going on in the economy. Everybody knows that. And, you're keeping us in front of the curve. So thank you very much. Remind everybody, this is Radio Entrepreneurs. And following Mark, we'll have more stories.